It's Wednesday morning. We're midway through the week. We have some great stories for you to enjoy today. Let's take a look.
Today, Devin Stewart is back at the open house for the new Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan, learning about the history of the Wheat Commission and what that group means to K-State, how the space in the new center will be divided between labs, greenhouses, and office space, why it takes so long to develop new varieties of wheat. Stay tuned for all this and more after the break. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Association of Wheat Growers and the Kansas Wheat Commission. Together, we are Kansas Wheat.
Welcome back to Ag AM in Kansas. I'm Devin Stewart. We're here at the bread cutting ceremony for the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. And we're here with the CEO of the Kansas Wheat Commission, Justin Gilpin. Can you talk about what this building means? And congratulations, first of all, but can you tell us exactly what this building's going to have going on in it and what it means to the Kansas wheat farmer?
Well, we're real excited about the open house that we had today for the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center. It's the beginning of a new era. As we talked about our board members and how we celebrated today, we look at this as more of a starting line, not a finish line. A lot has happened and had to come together. A lot of support, collaborative support, had to come together to make this building possible. But really today is the beginning, is a celebration of a new beginning. It's a new beginning of what's going to happen for research in the Kansas wheat industry and good things that are going to happen for Kansas farmers.
Now there's some major research underway here. Can you talk a little bit about that?
It's really focused on double haploid process and providing double haploid services to not only the Kansas State Wheat Breeding Program, but public programs throughout the region from Texas to Nebraska and Colorado, but then also for private companies who want to use this service. And it's double haploids is a way of making wheat varieties faster. Currently, to develop a wheat variety, it takes 10 to 12 years from the first time that wheat variety has been crossed to when it's out in the field. What we're trying to say is that's unacceptable. We're trying to find a way to cut that time in half by giving double haploid services so farmers don't have to wait 10 or 12 years. They're waiting 5 or 6 years for that new next variety that's going to make a difference for the state of Kansas.
Now, what's going to go on in this building from on a day-to-day basis?
Well, it does house, it has 10,000 square feet of office space. That does house the Kansas Wheat Commission, Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. It houses Kansas Foundation for Ag in the Classroom, Kansas Wheat Alliance, which is the commercialization entity for K-State wheat varieties, but then also Heartland Plant Innovation. So day-to-day operations of those offices are core daily duties. But then we also have 15,000 square feet of lab space. That's where the core double haploid breeding efforts, Kansas State workers, researchers will be working there. We'll have an opportunity for private researchers to come in and work alongside of them also. And so that'll be happening in the lab space. But then we have 10,000 square feet of greenhouse space that those researchers will have access to. And so we're really excited about not just the day-to-day work that'll be happening in the offices, but the actual lab and potential for research in the lab and greenhouses.
Now, you guys had a great turnout today. Can you talk about some of the feedback you've gotten?
It's been pretty exciting for us. This is a farmer-owned building. It's in partnership with Kansas State University. This is on Kansas State property, but the building is owned by Kansas Wheat Commission, so it is owned by Kansas wheat farmers. And today it was exciting because we had so many Kansas farmers that came through, not just board members, but farmers that wanted to see what was going on in their industry and seeing the investment that's being made to make a difference in their industry. And so that's really exciting.
Can you talk about some of the specific feedback you've gotten today? I know you were telling us earlier that you talked to a producer who just came to see what was going on.
It's exciting to see guys that they've read about it or heard about it, maybe seen it on your program, heard us talking about it, but to actually see it firsthand, I think has an impact on them because they know what they do out on their farms and every day and the responsibility that they have, but they actually have to go into it harder and harder on their effort to have genetics that get invested in and to see it firsthand. It makes it so much more tangible to them. You could tell he was excited about seeing this investment.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply. Get ready for the Kicker Country Stampede presented by Verizon Wireless, starring Jason Aldean, Trace Adkins, Ford days of camping and country music at Country Stampede, Little Big Town. The Pistol Annies featuring Ashley Monroe, Miranda Lambert, and Angelina Presley. Country Stampede. Take advantage of our current pricing. Advanced pricing for a 4-day ticket is $135. Prices go up June 26. More info at countrystampede.com.
This hog is Hanover hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
And now here's another gardening tip with Dave Jackson.
Did you know that dandelions can be killed in your yard with a product made by Fertilome called Weed Out, and you don't have to fertilize your lawn? So if you're worried about your lawn getting too high and too tall too quick with too much fertilizer, come in and ask for some Fertilome Weed Out without lawn fertilizer to kill your dandelion.
Our annual Mix or Match flat sale is underway. Plant 48 homegrown annuals for just $18.99. Save 35%.
Dr. Dan here. Whether I'm driving up and down the roads covering the state of Kansas or I'm getting between Riley and Manhattan for my job, I'm driving a Ford truck. I'd like you to come out and visit my friends here at Dick Edwards Ford. They have a truck that'll suit your needs, whether you're looking for power with a Power Stroke diesel or if you're looking for fuel efficiency with the new EcoBoost engine, they got a truck that's just right for you. They're located 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall in Manhattan, Kansas, and they'll bend over backwards to help you. And I'll see you down the road.
This segment brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Ag AM in Kansas. I'm Devin Stewart. We're here at the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center bread cutting ceremony with Stephen Graham, the assistant to the dean for the College of Agriculture at Kansas State University, to discuss a little bit about what this Wheat Innovation Center means to Kansas State. But first, Stephen, can we talk about, you had the vision, or you were the head of this when you guys decided to bring this to Kansas, or to Kansas State University's campus. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, sure. Originally, the Wheat Commission started in Hutchinson, Kansas back in 1957. And in 1982, we started discussing the idea of moving to Manhattan and establishing it up here. And at that time, our vision was to eventually have the Wheat Commission located next to the International Grains Program. So we moved to Manhattan in 1984, not next to the International Grains Program at that time, but that was always the long-term idea. And here, 30 years later, it's actually happened. So it's really exciting to be here today, see the brand new, beautiful building, and see it located right next to the International Grains Program. So, you know, you just got to be patient, but sometimes good things happen if you're patient.
So definitely the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center has grown a lot since from when you saw it.
Yes, that's amazing. And the new facilities here and the double haploid work that they'll be doing here in conjunction with our scientists at Kansas State University is very exciting, shortening the time to get new wheat varieties. And of course, we value the help from the Wheat Commission of research funding at K-State and our partnership with them that's been years and years. So, you know, we're really excited to see this whole new facility and always thankful for their partnership with Kansas State University.
Now, as you've said before, we're talking about shortening the time for wheat varieties. Can you talk a little bit about that and how Kansas State University is involved in that?
Okay. Well, traditionally, wheat breeding has taken 10 to 12 years of lots of crossing and recrossing of the wheat to eventually get it to the farmers' fields. And with this new double haploid research they're doing here, we're hoping to cut that way down to 5 or 6 years, basically in half. And so the scientists here will be making releases of new germplasm that we can work into new wheat varieties. And so it's a really great partnership. You know, they're not duplicating anything we have. It's something that we need. So it's just a win-win situation for all of us.
And do you know much about this process and how it works?
I'm not that kind of an expert, no. My expertise was in grain science, so after the wheat's harvested and starts to be stored and milled and baked. So I've heard a little bit about it, but that's kind of beyond what I understand.
And what do you see for the future as far as the collaboration between Kansas State University goes and this Wheat Innovation Center?
Well, I think there's now that it's here, we're seeing industry being interested in maybe coming to Manhattan and putting either their whole office here or a branch office here. So I think it's just the start of some more exciting developments, and that's what's really neat to see. And so, we talk about being in the animal health corridor, which we are, but we're also in the grain corridor. You have the Kansas Wheat Commission, you have Kansas and the wheat growers, Kansas State University, you have the USDA's only ARS facility in Manhattan, the American Institute of Baking. And then in Kansas City, you have a lot of milling and baking companies up in Omaha. So, it's also a grain corridor, too, wheat corridor, grain corridor. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time, and lots of new. The Department of Agriculture is moving to Manhattan. So there's a lot of things starting to develop. We're talking to some other companies and planting seeds and saying, why don't you think about coming to Manhattan or putting part of your company here?
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
All right. You're very welcome.
Purple Wave is a proud supporter of the Kansas FFA through the Bid for Blue program. Purple Wave donates a portion of the proceeds earned on certain ag assets to the Kansas FFA. Winning bidders can designate a Kansas chapter to receive the donation. To date, Purple Wave is proud to have donated over $10,000. Visit purplewave.com to learn more and to place bids on Bid for Blue assets. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
Roy Fry Western Lifestyles brings the cowboy or cowgirl out in all of us. With a huge selection of must-have items, it doesn't matter if you're shopping for your horse, picking up some Western accessories to add that rustic charm to your home, or simply treating yourself. The knowledge and expertise to dress you your Western best is right here at Roy Fry Western Lifestyles, Highway 24 and Kansas Avenue in Topeka.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Association of Wheat Growers and the Kansas Wheat Commission. Together, we are Kansas Wheat.
Welcome back to Ag AM in Kansas. I'm Devin Stewart. We're here with Richard Randall, the chairman of the Kansas Wheat Commission, here at the bread cutting for the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center. Now to begin, Richard, can you just talk about what this center means?
The Innovation Center means, in a nutshell, with the HPI lab facility, we'll be able to take the time to put a new variety of wheat to my farm to be cut in half from 12 to 13 years to 6 years. And then also, in the process of the scientists breeding wheat, they're going to come up with more pure lines with the double haploid process.
So what all is involved in this center as a whole?
We have office space for the Wheat Commission, Wheat Alliance, Ag in the Classroom, Kansas Association of Wheat Growers, and HPI. So.
Now, when I was touring this, there were some greenhouses in the back with lots of interesting things. Can you kind of discuss what's all included back there?
Well, now you're getting pretty technical in the double haploid process, but we've got growth rooms there that they start with a petri dish. They go to the small growth chambers, then they go to the growth rooms, and then they go to the greenhouse. So all this is used in the process of producing pure lines of wheat in the double haploid process.
Now, because this center is on Kansas State University's campus or close to it, with the IGP Center close, how do you plan to work with them as far as all this goes?
The way we work with the university is through the Research Foundation, and the Wheat Commission will spend close to $1 million every year on research projects through the university, through the scientists and the wheat growers in the university, and that is how we will work with the university. Also, we'll be working with some other public identities, public companies, and definitely be working with the university on projects.
Now, earlier I had the opportunity to speak with one of the associate directors of the International Cranes Program, and he says that you guys have always kind of been supporters of each other, but since you're right across the street, that could bring some new possibilities.
There is probably, I don't know how many trade teams comes through the IGP every year, but there's lots of trade teams, and they're looking at purchasing wheat, for their flour mills. And so we're tied together very closely with IGP and the Innovative Center, because we can bring the millers over here. They can show the process, how we're developing, new products in breeds of wheat or varieties of wheat that they can use in their milling process. And a lot of countries it's pretty specific what kind of wheat they want, whether they want noodles or pasta to the Mexican food and so forth. They're very specific in what they want. And they can see that we're working on developing. We can maybe develop specific varieties for specific purposes and identity prove them all the way from the farm to the consumer.
Now, can you walk us through what will happen here on a day-to-day basis?
Ooh. Well, of course, you got the major office space up here, which are busy all the time. And then when you get down into the lab space, day-to-day operation, well, that's kind of beyond me. Other than that, they're going to be working in the lab and through their process, and this is an ongoing process every day, 360 days a year. So it'd be hard to get into very many details on that. So.
Right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
In the last 3 years, we've changed some things in our AI protocol, one of which was the use of multi-min. We've seen a significant increase in our AI pregnancy rate. The cost of an embryo program is significant, and we feel that if we were able to even get one more pregnancy out of a cow, that would pay for the whole cost of the whole bottle of multi-min right there.
Golf Week calls it the best course you can play in Kansas. But once you play, you'll want to stay. Go for it. Firekeeper Golf Course at Prairie Band Casino and Resort is just north of Topeka off Highway 75. Our stay and play package is worth the trip. Luxury hotel room, green fees, and golf cart for two, starting at just $169.
Prairie Band Casino and Resort. Go for it.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Premier Farm and Home. Stop by or visit us at haycow.com.
Good morning, my name is John Cabus. I'm with the Shawnee County Weed Department. I'm the Noxious Weed Director here in Shawnee County, and I was going to visit with you today about the weed programs and the noxious weed rental sprayers that we have. Every county in the state of Kansas has a noxious weed program, and there are 12 noxious weeds that by legislative action are weeds declared noxious, meaning they are prohibited and landowners are required to control them. Here in Shawnee County, that's what we do at the Shawnee County Weed Department. Like I said, every county in the state has a weed department. Their job is to help landowners control those weeds and then also enforce action on landowners that don't control the weeds. The counties are required to provide cost-share herbicide controls to help landowners control these weeds, and many counties also provide rental equipment to do that. And so here in Shawnee County, we have rental sprayers. We actually have 15 rental sprayers that landowners can use to control their noxious weeds. So there's really no reason a landowner should let noxious weeds grow uncontrolled. We offer them the cost-shared assistance on the herbicide, and for a very nominal cost they can rent the sprayer. Our particular sprayers are very rugged. They're made for landowners that may not have enough property to justifying having their own sprayer, but big enough that they can spray, they'll spray about 15 acres in a tank load. So it's also very important that landowners, with the cost of herbicides being expensive and then also that herbicides need to be applied correctly, that your sprayers are calibrated and applying correctly. So when you use the rental program sprayers, we know how they are calibrated and how they are to be used. So it's been a good program here in Shawnee County, and a lot of landowners utilize the program, and it's very beneficial to control the noxious weeds and other weeds that they might have in their pastures. Our sprayers we've got them designed so they're very easy to use. They are friendly. A lot of times we find landowners that are anxious or apprehensive about renting sprayers and using pesticides, and once we go through the process and explain to them how to use the products and how to use the equipment, that we find that they realize that it is pretty easy to do, and that we find that once we get them started, following years we can't keep them away. They want to keep coming back and keep spraying. So the equipment is easy to use. You'll find that probably in all counties, and it's so much easier to control and fight noxious weeds using those than some of the old ways, or even to cut and hoe weeds or musk thistle. And so the only thing that we need to be conscious about is that you've got to be careful that the conditions are good, that it's not too windy, or we have a rain event that's immediately going to occur after we've sprayed. And then there are some restrictions on livestock, but most of those and most herbicides can be applied in livestock pastures with very few restrictions. Unless you're an active dairy, or there's some reason you may be slaughtering within 3 days, there's literally no restrictions on the herbicides we have to control the noxious weeds here in Shawnee County. Here in Shawnee County, our sprayers are located here on the fairgrounds near the Expo Center, where the Noxious Weed Department's at, and we're available during normal business hours, and you can come rent the sprayers, again, for a very nominal cost. And really all we're trying to recoup is the cost to manage or maintain the machine. We don't make money on it. The idea is that you get your project sprayed and back soon enough so the next landowner can then utilize the sprayer. They rent hundreds of times during the summer, and landowners use those to control their noxious weeds. They're also very rugged. Not that they're not indestructible, but they can tolerate a lot of abuse, because typically noxious weeds grow in some of the roughest terrain, and we do have landowners that rent our sprayers that own sprayers because they may or may not want to drag their sprayers over some of that rough terrain.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
We'll have plenty more for you tomorrow here on Ag AM in Kansas. We're here every weekday, same time, same station. Or look for us on the web at agaminkansas.com. Eric Atkinson here for K-State Research and Extension.